Let me know if this was true for you with your avoidant ex, because it was definitely true for me. I dated the type of avoidant that was extremely cool, calm, and collected on the surface. This was something that really attracted me to him, because as someone who is like extremely anxious, extremely sensitive, can be like more reactive to things, I was like, oh my god, he's gonna be like that stable calm through the storm. And throughout the relationship, he never had crazy reactions to anything. He seemed to be so grounded in every situation. Car broke down multiple times, I had an apartment fire, things tended to go wrong once in a while, but he always just showed up and dealt with it, and never got mad or seemed to be anxious or had any bad reactions to anything. And when you're dating someone like this, when you don't understand avoidance, you're thinking like, wow, there's such a great aspect to this person. No matter what I bring to the table, they can kind of handle it because like they just don't experience anxiety. That's amazing. But what soon starts to happen in the relationship is that even though they are so cool, calm, and collected in every situation, you start to feel more and more anxious because you start experiencing so many feelings and emotions and you can't get through to them. It's not that they are just cool, calm, and collected in times of chaos. It's not like they learned to have this kind of serenity type mindset. No. What's actually happening is this is emotional restraint. They are pulling emotions away from every situation so that they don't have to feel things that would cause them pain or anguish or fear or anxiety. They are literally like disassociating and pulling themselves out of it. And not only does that happen in these times of car breaking down, apartment fire, whatever, but it also happens in normal day-to-day things in the relationship, like you trying to have an emotional conversation with them, you trying to express your needs to them. What happens is you start feeling like you are this crazy, overly sensitive, overly reactive, overly anxious person because they are not reacting to anything. You can't get anything out of them. They are like a cold, hard stone. But you don't realize that they are avoidant. And so you're just going crazy. And by the end of the relationship, like at least for me, I was so incredibly emotional. I was sending him videos of me crying and being like, why can't I get through to you? Why don't I feel like we have a connection? Like, what is going on? All I would ever receive back from him was just like niceties or people pleasing or trying to keep me calm, or just like saying something like, this is a little bit exhausting. Like, let's just, cool it. And imagine what this does to the dynamic of the relationship. When you have an avoidant person who just disengages from all of the emotional labor in the relationship, the anxious person is then forced to overexert themselves, to overfunction, to become hyper vigilant, assessing risk in every scenario, initiating everything, having to take control of all the emotions and all that emotional labor in the relationship because the other partner is not engaging. The anxious person doesn't realize that the avoidant is avoidant. And so the anxious person is simply just reacting to the feeling of disconnection that is happening in the relationship. So the anxious person may be coming to the avoidant a lot with their needs or asking questions, trying to fix things, trying to understand. But because the avoidant is so emotionally restrained and they are not engaging in the emotional labor, the anxious person ends up looking like they are too clingy, too needy, too much. And the avoidant person ends up looking like they are more mature, they are more stable, they are more, chill, right? And this anxious person is so controlling and crazy. And oh my God, why are they so reactive, so emotional, so overly sensitive? And this is being reinforced by the things that the avoidant might often say to you. Like, you're just like too emotional. Like, why does it have to be this big deal? What's super unfair in this relationship dynamic is that the avoidant gets to pull away and create space and distance and restrain themselves emotionally in order to regulate themselves. But the anxious person doesn't really ever get to regulate themselves. Whether they are with or not with the avoidant, they are constantly in a state of dysregulation. They are constantly assessing risk. They are constantly going through mental gymnastics to try to make themselves an acceptable version to their partner so that they don't scare them away. Because the anxious person just so desperately wants to have their partner around and wants to have that validation, the anxious person will edit themselves. They will dumb themselves down. They will stop having needs. They will stop asking questions. They will will stop trying to be too much. They will do whatever they can to keep things like chill, right? To keep things simple so that the avoidant will come around and stand to be around them. The avoidant gets to engage when things are light and fun and easy, and then they get to emotionally disengage when things get more complicated. And this is essentially how anxious people continue to be like emotionally starved in their relationships. They will shrink themselves down throughout the relationship in order to try to keep their partner, because they can sense that their partner doesn't want to have anything to do with the emotional aspect of the relationship. This does a number on your self-worth. And what you have to learn as an anxious person is that you have every right to have needs. You have every right to have connection. And if you're with someone that doesn't give that to you, then that is the wrong person for you.